The Director General of NYSC, Brigadier General Yusha'u Ahmed, has informed corps members that they will not regret participating in all the camp activities. According to him, such activities are meant to make them rugged and enable the corps members to outstand future rigours or rigorous lives. He addressed corps members of the 2024 Batch B Stream 2 while on a working visit to the Kaduna State NYSC orientation camp on Wednesday. And he, however, cautioned the corps members against hiding their medical challenges while also participating in all camp activities if they are healthy. Speaking on the Skills Acquisition and Entrepreneurship Department program that side, he said it would be beneficial to them after service, adding that it had produced billionaires. Ahmed said that the scheme was in partnership with many organizations which gave out loans to corps members without interest. This is just one activity in the camp. There are various other activities in the camp that I would like to, point out later on the show, but that will be definitely after I find out your thoughts on this story.
Okay, is always like that.
What is always like that now?
Yes, the rhetorics, the verbal, promotion of NYSC. But when it comes to what the scheme is supposed to deliver or impact on the corps members is a different story altogether. Hearing ruggedity, that's what we're hearing, and I keep asking myself, do we actually want to join a military? Ruggedity shouldn't be just is part of it, but we need smart development. We need corps members that will be smart, not just rugged. So I feel NYSC, in as much as the scheme is okay, is commendable, but NYSC needs improvement. From when I left camp till date, it's still similar, the same thing we've been hearing. And before I also went to camp, I was hearing the same thing. So I think there should be serious improvement when it comes to
on a lighter note now, there's this saying that if you can survive in Nigeria, you can survive anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that the NYSC scheme do you think that the NYSC scheme in any way has helped Nigerians to survive?
That's why I
thought about
surviving. Talking about ruggedity. Even our students they are rugged. Prior to assessing or entering into the camp, the nation economy, the situation around the campus has already made us rugged. So NYSC should improve and then come up with more innovative
Yes, let's talk about
ideas.
the ways in which you suggest that the NYSC should improve.
Yes, I've always advocated for this. If Nigeria wants to enhance professionalism in professional fields or discipline, recall that in most of our institutions, higher institutions, we do not have enough time to do practical and then specialize in most of the professional disciplines. Now, 1 year is, in fact, let me also say this, what made me who I am today agriculturally is because of the 1 year IT, not my NYSC. And I want to commend my institution for that. 1 year compulsory IT outside River State. You understand that?
Farm.
Yes, I did my IT in Akwa Ibom State, all the way from my own state, the state where I schooled, to another state. And I was living in the farm. That's why I saw different technologies. So if...
When they, sorry to cut you there, you continue, but when they send the students to various states for their IT, were you sent to that particular location or you chose it?
The school sent us to that particular location.
Was there a provision for accommodation?
Definitely, exactly.
And welfare and all of that?
Sure.
So money was sent to you?
The farm was giving us stipend. It's long ago. They were giving us something just small. But it's part of your education, so they are not supposed to fund all your expenses.
All right. Continue with what you think.
Yeah, so going back to the issue of... NYSC, right?
Yes.
You see, if Nigeria wants to professionalize or to increase professionalism in professional field or discipline, there is need to make judicious use of our 1 year service. The 1 year service here is a good time to inculcate professionalism into our students, especially for those of them that are into professional discipline.
Are you saying core members who are into these disciplines are not sent to the areas or the sectors where they belong?
That is the point. That is the point. Like in my own case, when I did the NYSC, I was actually sent to a place where there was no room for me to even exhibit what I can do. The environment was not conducive for teaching because of insecurity then. And
oh, you were sent to a classroom?
Definitely.
A school, okay.
Yes, because of insecurity, I declined. And some of my colleagues were, "Love this cannot happen. You must get doctor's report." And going by my philosophy and the way I was raised, I was finding it difficult to go and forge a medical report. Some people were doing that. I said, no, I will say it the way it is. The environment is not secure. That's Kaduna. Let me be specific. The environment wasn't secure then. And then if you push me to that place, you can't tie me rope. I will end up not serving. I will not go there because my life is important to me, also important to my family and to the nation. So I will not go there. So I made my report. I did a kind of protest letter or an appeal to the management. I said the reason I wouldn't want to go to that place is because the place is not secure. And if you venture, send me to that place, I will not perform. So my 1 year service here will be wasted because I can't risk my life. And to my greatest surprise, it was honored. Yes, it was approved. So I now applied for relocation or redeployment. So I was now redeployed. That was how I now moved to Abia State, where I served. But
before we go on with your activities while you served and all of that, now, you know, we've discussed this before, and I had to mention that do we need the students to actually write for us to know that that part of the country at that time was not so safe?
That is the insensitivity
when you hear of insecurities from some states, and then you hear that, I'm saying this because I remember my younger brother was actually one of those. At that time, when he was sent to a particular state, there was insecurity in that state. And we're hearing issues of insecurity. And this boy was sent there from Rivers State. So I was asking questions like, why would you want to send anybody to a part of the country where we all know media is telling us every day, we're seeing videos
the place is insecure?
You understand? So why do we really have to wait for the student to write for us to know what to do? And you know, some people were suggesting that you just allow people to serve where they are, but don't you think that's going to defeat the scheme, NYSC?
Yes, it's a two-way thing there. It's just like if we can relate this to the community policing. It's out of place now. But that's one of the reasons those that have been endorsing that particular policy have been endorsing it. Because that it takes somebody within a geographical location, you know, to guide and protect. So if you want to destroy, it's like your environment, you're destroying. Nobody will want to use his own hand to scatter what he's trying to build or what he has built. You know, so similar concept can be applied or adopted. And when it comes to an NYSC scheme, I subscribe to that, considering the level of insecurity in some areas until the government addresses those insecurity issues. Let people serve within their terrain and then place them, that's the point I was about making before, send them to where, you know, areas that will impact them, and then also give them the room to also issue out what the knowledge they have acquired. So that is what NYSC needs. And then the program or the scheme should be smart. Technology has advanced. You know, needless of doing similar thing we have been doing for the past 10 years. For goodness sake, is not encouraging. It's not encouraging, and that's why you see some persons will do. There are some persons that are even, you know, taking exemption because of insecurity and some of the things they have heard probably from senior colleagues. That nothing comes out. Nothing come out of the program, like our people will always say. You know, so the system is a good one, but they should critically look at what it tends to achieve. Something that have been running for over 10, 15, 20, 30 years, as the case may be. There is need for critical review that will be conspicuous, that the people will see, oh, this is an upgrade, this is a kind of an advancement. The system has upgraded. Not repeating the same thing. That's where I have issue, because the world has moved. There is no how you keep me at a particular point for 5 years and I will remain there. I'm a progressive. So, and that is the generation we are. The youth we have, the things we have, they are growing with the speed of light. And the government system, various government agencies and sectors that has something to do directly with our youth need to also improve. Very critical. Very critical. I once did a research on corpus perception of the Community Development Service of NYSC. And then, though a long time ago, I was even thinking that the corpus wouldn't subscribe to the issue that NYSC should, the Community Development Service should continue. But I discovered a majority of the corpus subscribed to that. But they were lamenting on improvement, on advancement of the Community Development scheme. Sorry, the NYSC scheme. Until date, that lamentation is still there. So I want to see this opportunity to appeal to the government, is government program. They should upgrade the system and make it more attractive. So once somebody finishes his 1 year service, the person can boldly, enter into wherever field the person is or belongs to with boldness and confidence.
All right, thank you so much. When we talk about adding to the scheme, upgrading the scheme, introducing new probably policies or ventures or activities that will make it more interesting, like you have said. But let's look at some of the things that people think should be scrapped from the NYSC. That's talking about the activities now. How do you see the rigorous activities that have been mentioned? When you talk about NYSC and rigorous activities, there's only one place that your mind can go to. Only one place. And that has to do with videos that we see online. For those people who did not serve, I served. So I experienced it firsthand, even though those guys didn't let us take pictures and videos then. But then, the videos that we see of people trying to climb, sometimes you ask yourself, like, what is this for? You have a high, maybe like a board, and then after that you have like a net where someone would have to then have a little hole in front. When you ask for the significance of all of these things, well, it has been stated in this story that it is to help you, face life after NYSC. You. But do you think all of that is, how do you think that is affecting or impacting the students?
For me, there is no significant impact that those rigorous activities has on the students, except for those that are coming from the military background, military school. Yes, we need to define this thing. For instance, I, for one, since I finished NYSC, have I ever climbed what do they call that rope? I've not done those masquerade whatever.
Maybe you have had it in life, like you have had challenges in life that has helped you, surpass.
The challenges in Nigeria outside camp is huge enough to pattern somebody, to make you strong. That service year is very critical. It's very important. Those activities, the system needs to review those activities. Of course, you and I know that some persons have actually had issues in course of some of those trainings. Like the one that affected me. I didn't eat in the morning, and the soldiers pushed all of us out. We went to the parade ground, I think 7 or 6 a.m. I've forgotten the time. Now, very early in the morning. And
6 a.m., that's very fair.
Okay.
Some camps come out at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. for my camp then.
And we were outside, and I was hungry. We're outside parading, turning the pitch around. And at some point, I couldn't hold myself again. I squat. I just bent down. Was holding my tummy. And so I said, hey, Kai, you! Stand up! I said, and they will always feel as if you're pretending.
Yeah.
But I was almost dying. And then I said, Oga, I can't. My stomach is, you will always be scared of their
And we always had a lot of people fainting.
Exactly. So I managed myself, but after that incident that day, it wasn't funny. I had to devise a different means to help myself. So that rigorous, of course, they will tell you if you have health challenge, you should report.
Indicates.
But how about in the case where you even you're already in camp, and you open up to the soldiers and they seem not to believe you because of maybe their previous experiences and all of that. So those rigours, it should be voluntary.
Okay.
If they must maintain, it should be voluntary.
All right. Let's also look at one more thing before we move from this story now. You mentioned the fact that for professional courses especially, we should have the students serving in that sector to enhance their knowledge and especially practical knowledge of that particular sector and that particular profession. But let's look at the availability of these people. Do we have enough? Especially when you look at the education sector. If you say only students who studied education should be sent to schools, are we going to have enough? Will these schools really have enough corpers? Because we have heard these schools several times say that the corpers that come in really help the system because they might not even have enough hands on ground.
That's the government failure. And believe me, the system, we have enough hands to man ministries, but the government have refused to employ. You know, I've done little assessment and I've discovered that some of our government, you know, some of our public officers, especially the government, they seem to, permit me to use the word, they seem to demonstrate some form of wickedness when it comes to doing and enacting or implementing policies that has direct impact on the masses. We have adequate educationists. We have people that are read, that are knowledgeable in that field, but they have not been given the platform to, they have not been engaged. They are not employed. So you see, they once employed like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, they keep shouting, no hands, so we don't have enough staff. But just do a little assessment of all the institutions, the number of graduates that is being churned out on yearly basis. Where are those graduates? Those people that studied education, where are they? If our government wants to engage them, believe me, they will not leave what they have studied and then dive into other things. For instance, myself, I'm a core farmer and I love farming. And if after doing all I'm trying to do, you know, self-help, and I get to the point that my family is now weighing on me, what I'm getting from my farming activity is no longer, won't I look for something else? Peradventure, if another door opens, nobody will even believe that love they had ever farmed before. And over time, the passion for farming will just die naturally. So that is it. If our government, you know, is serious with engaging our graduates, my dear, there is no how we'll have limited number of teaching staff in our institutions. It's not just possible. So it has nothing to do with taking professionals. Maybe somebody studied engineering that is supposed to be working in an automobile workshop or engineering workshop to learn how to fix, do the practical thing of what he has studied, and you're not channeling the person to the classroom.
But another issue is these other sectors. Do they have enough industries? Do they have enough companies to accommodate these core members in that particular field?
That's the aspect I was also looking at. And thank God you just mentioned it. Now, who is to blame? If there are no enough industries to accommodate the professionals, who should be held responsible? It is still the same government. You see, everything revolves around the government. Just like in my area, there was a time it was said that, no graduate. We are looking for graduates to give job. People are not studying. That's those days. But currently, there are more than enough graduates. So also in the country, so also in Nigeria and in various states, across the various professions. So days are gone where you say we don't have people to fit into this particular field. We're looking, the people are there. We have more people. The government should open up the system. The government should set up industry that will accommodate these people. And all of these things has, you know, direct impact, of course, positive impact on our economy. Once the government is not making judicious use of her manpower, there is no how the economy will grow. There is no how the economy will
advance. And then
also
having the people now, a lot of times we normally how the system is supposed to be is when you graduate from this particular field or profession, you start up something. Not everybody might, but that is set. Imagine someone saying, I graduated 15 years ago and still now I've not gotten a job. I'm still looking for a job. And now that's somebody who probably could have started up a company, who would have accommodated the new set of people who are coming out from the universities. So when we have all these people who are supposed to start up something to bring in the other people, all of them are, some of them are unemployed, looking for and hoping on the government to get them something to do. And before you know it, more sets keep coming. 15 years, that means 15 different sets have come, and
joined.
All of them are just out there waiting for the government to do something. People have said time and time again that the government cannot really employ everybody, even though we cannot take away the fact that they have their role to play. But we also have our roles to play when we talk about looking for something innovative to do. But then you still channel it down to people starting these innovative ventures and not having a conducive environment for their businesses to even thrive. You talked about your business that couldn't at some point. You started having challenges of insecurity and all that. So we have our role to play. The government has their role to play. People in leadership have their role to play. Let's move on to the next story.